side without having to go through and redo everything else. So apologies for that, but thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it, man. Now, what was I talking about? I was talking about Gundam being forgettable, right? Yeah, we was talking about Gundam being forgettable. It's like, what was the last Gundam that you remember seeing? Like the last Gundam series? Wing? And it's just like, it kind of just fell off from there. Alright, so I'm not the only person that's kind of just like, Gundam is just like a mystical anime within this season, which kind of sucks. But, I mean, what are you really gonna do about it? In other news, we're getting 90s X-Men in movies. That's gonna be exciting.
I wonder if they actually gonna do the fucking theme though. If they do the theme, like, I'll gladly just throw my fucking money at the screen.
If they do that, I don't know, man. I might watch it like 20 times in a week. My Lord is dead. Is this like Richard?
Damn.
Damn. R.I.P. Richard Ando.
Damn. Like, he comes in and like just
ripped to everything.
As hell.
Everything's just going out. Everything's dying. Then next thing you know, our audio's gonna go out. Let me not even say that before that actually happens. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you hear us talking, then like the audio goes out, and you're just like, guys, we can't hear you. We can't hear you right out. And it's like, what are you talking about? I just want Wolverine in a silly yellow outfit.
That's all I want as well.
Y'all know that shit ain't happening. Y'all know that is not happening. That's not happening. Oh shit, it is broken. Oh yeah, that's right. You can get the actual one. Okay, never mind. I was thinking right. Wolverine over every other X-Men? Ooh.
He's right, you know.
I'm willing to accept that. I think Wolverine is godlike. Wolverine is like probably one of the most memorable X-Men there is, like ever.
Besides
like,
Storm.
Yeah, it's always coming down to Storm, Wolverine, and maybe Cyclops / Jean Grey. That's like most memorable characters. Jubilee better have a bigger role. She's my 90s X-Men bae. She probably will.
They gave her to Shaft something nasty. That movie.
Yeah, but X-Men Apocalypse is like, what was she gonna do? She shoots fireworks, for fuck's sake. Fireworks.
She better bedazzle
fucking fireworks.
Well, at least her powers are better than Bedazzler's.
That's just like Dazzler's. That's just like Dazzler fighting fucking Apocalypse. It's like, what do you expect's gonna happen? You're gonna die. Stay your ass at home. Don't even do anything. Matter of fact, go to the mall or something. Here, go get some new clothes.
They mall ran the fuck out of her.
Even though
hey, let's go to the mall.
Yeah.
Bitch.
That's like that's my only problem with Jubilee. It's like she's such a useless and worthless character. Out of like all the X-Men powers, you know. I feel they'll never.
No, it's more people who has more fucked up powers than her.
I mean, Dazzler's power is pretty bad as well. Well, it's just like, I don't know, man. You're gonna have to really do something drastic in order to change Jubilee from firework happy shooting bastard child to like super cool character. And I don't know if they're gonna do that.
Can't the Hunters like kill the Crimson Heads?
Nah, because they're never in the same room together.
Fuck.
Yeah, Maximum Carnage would never happen in film, probably. I mean, if Marvel keeps the character, it probably will happen. If Marvel keeps Spider-Man, it will probably happen. It's just kind of like how they would probably change Jubilee to make her more useful in the movies. Instead of her just having the firework powers, which is kind of like... I mean, like, I can see Jubilee being super useful for a party, you know? Like an outdoor party.
For the 4th of July.
4th of July.
Grand openings.
Yeah, you know, grand openings, 4th of July, you know, outdoor parties, not inside because fireworks inside is kind of dangerous. You don't want to do that.
I not get the fuck about this place, right?
So, I guess that's it.
Oh, shit, I gotta fight Yarn.
Effects are so poor. Yeah, let's kind of leave that in the past there. But I don't know, man. I really hope, I really I can't even express how much I hope that they don't fuck up Spider-Man.
Hello?
Even though it's hard to fuck up Spider-Man.
She should be in the house.
I want to prophesy Juggernaut in the
Outside.
movie. And I'm very cheekily having him say I'm the Juggernaut bitch. Didn't that already happened? That already happened, kind of. The thing I found out crazy about X-Men Apocalypse was that this was supposed to be 10 years after the previous one, and no one looks like they've aged more than a year or two. That is a very good point. That is a very good point. And in fact, it's kind of like, it's kind of weird how it all works out, actually. Considering the fact that, you know, it's supposed to be so later down the line that it's just kind of like, so why does Charles Xavier still look like he's in his early 20s instead of properly where he should be in age? Still better than see, you know, there's this thing about the Spider-Man movies that are I am trying to think of the right words to say for this. You know, Yarn is still in Dimension, right?
Yeah. I just came out here to get the shotgun shells.
So it's, I don't know, man. Spider-Man has been such a shitter in terms of like movies that it's kind of embarrassing. Like the Amazing Spider-Man. You know what? I haven't seen the Amazing Spider-Man in so long, and it was such a bad movie to me that I forgot it even happened until just now.
This is about the first one?
The first one was okay.
The second one was cool.
But like as a
y'all just don't want to remember it because everybody's girlfriend died.
It's just, I don't know, man. I kind of feel like Spider-Man doesn't get the correct respect that he should be getting as a character.
Thanks to the fucking I'm about to say again, please don't tell me he's about to come out this motherfucker again.
well, we just gotta hope Disney does it well. I mean, I don't want to talk about Spider-Man games, dog. They've been such a disappointment that I just stopped. Like, I stopped putting myself in that abusive relationship. I was just like, you know what? Nothing Spider-Man related is ever going to be good. I'm going to let it go. I was just going to let it go. The only way that we'll ever get good Spider-Man shit is in comics, and I accept that now. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about any superhero game actually now. Because of Spider-Man, I kind of feel like I'm not gonna like it. I'm gonna wish that they did it better, and then I'm just gonna lose hope in everything superhero related. Emma Bay Stone was gonna die is in fact retarded. Wow. The only Spider-Man games that exist are Ultimate Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, Enter Electro, the 90s PlayStation game. I think the 90s Spider-Man games were decent. I think they were pretty decent. But, man, it's just, I really hope.
Give my weapon back, bitch.
I would say, please don't forget that. I really hope that when Spider-Man Homecoming happens, that we'll get the correct Spider-Man. I kind of feel like at this point, the only people that are doing the right things when it comes down to the superhero movies on Marvel's side is kind of 50-50 with Fox. I mean, they fucked up Fantastic Four again.
Happened.
I don't.
The first
How?
like when they first did the Fantastic Four, it was cool.
The first one was cool,
The
and then they
second
made
one?
another one.
The second one was like, y'all, can y'all please just fucking stop?
They made another one. They should have just left it alone at the first one.
The first one's cool. Oh, they got their powers. They're cool as hell now.
It's just like the first one. All right, fine. It's all right. It's an okay movie. It's not amazing, but it's an okay movie. You know what? Let's make a sequel with Galactus and Silver Surfer. I'm like, yo, this is gonna be really exciting. And I see it. I'm just like, what the fuck just happened? Talking about the Fantastic Four movies because they are ass. They are ass. Oh yeah, Maximum Carnage on the Super Nintendo was actually that that's a pretty good game, but it's also hard. But at the same time, at the same time, it's just kind of like games back then, which is genuinely hard anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Just wait for a third. I hope there is never a third. I hope there is never a third Fantastic Four movie. I hope they don't even continue the one that they just made. Just let the shit die out. Give it back to Marvel. And let's start making good movies again. But yeah, like Brian Stinger, I can't remember his last name. He's the only person that's really doing anything right at Fox, I feel. The only guy. Because yeah, sure, he fucked up the first 3 X-Men movies, but guess what? He came back and he did it. He did it correct. He did it the way that it was supposed to be done, and now we can finally move on with our lives, going to bed at night knowing that everything is right with the X-Men movies now. Yeah, like, here's the fucked up part though. The only reason why they made a new Fantastic Four movie is simply because they can keep the license to Fantastic Four and they don't relapse to fucking Marvel. That's it. That's it. That's literally it.
I could go downstairs now, right?
Yeah. You have to go do the statue with the puzzle thing and then go downstairs to the blah 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 blah, flip the power, go up the elevator, blah 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 blah, get the battery, go back, blah 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 blah, put the battery in the thing, blah 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 blah. Final Fantasy movies bring us a lot of blah 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 blah, but so little. Oh my god! Talk about the timing, the perfect timing of shit. But so little superpower action. I kind of feel like it's a little weird how Final Fantasy movies work. Because, well, the only ones that we had was like Spirit Within and Final Fantasy VII movie. And that's not really much to go off of. But like, they didn't have some.
At least we're getting another one.
Yeah, we're finally getting another one after like fucking 35 years of our lives. I don't understand.
Why the fuck am I even over here?
I was gonna ask that question, but I was pretty sure that you didn't know any more than what I knew about you being here. But yeah, like Final Fantasy VII.
About the whole Human Torch shit, like if motherfuckers actually read comics, they didn't really do shit. They just switched to a different universe.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Why is he back? That dude died in like 1975. Why is he still here? He was good in Creed. I hope they do a Creed 2. I hope they do a Creed 2 as well.
I still haven't saw Creed.
To be honest, after the next Avengers, I want to see Marvel Zombies. Even if it is just animated, I would be fine. I'm actually really surprised that it never happened. Like, I'm actually really surprised Marvel Zombies never happened. Which is kind of weird, because you thought, I mean, you would think it would be a good idea. On paper, it's a good idea.
They'll still need like majority of their fucking characters.
Yeah.
Because zombies is like taking part in Battle World as well.
Yeah. So they would definitely need their entire cast there, what they don't have. Yeah. Yeah. There's so much shitty movies about zombies in general nowadays. There's so much shitty everything related to zombies nowadays, which is unfortunate, to say the least. Like, to say the very least, it's unfortunate. Because I remember back in the 90s...
Hey, go turn the power on over here.
Zombies was the cool thing. You know? Zombies was the cool thing, you know what I'm saying? They wasn't used as, like, fucking comedy movies, comedy horror. Since when the fuck has that ever been a genre?
We're gonna do a zombie movie, but guess what? Once these zombies get horny and like start loving people, they come back to life.
Yeah, it's like, I don't understand. I don't even want to talk about the Resident Evil movies because it's not being handled by Capcom, so I don't care about it, honestly. I mean, yeah, she's fucking the producer, director, whatever the fuck he is, and she gets like a free role in a movie that are so, like, the movies are so bad, it's fucking amazing how bad they are. But it's whatever. it doesn't, like, I'm kind of like whatever about it now at this point. I kind of feel like even thinking about it is like not even worth my time that they even exist, because they don't exist to me. Like, all the Resident Evil movies that they have done are just straight ass, and the only ones that have been good are like the animated ones. But guess what? It's all Leon, so I'm kind of tired of seeing Leon all over the place.
It was one with Claire as well.
Yeah, but Claire came in. No, she didn't come in late. But I kind of feel like they could have had a better focal point on Claire, shall I say.
The fact is, like, I fell asleep watching that fucking movie.
Yeah.
Like, not on purpose or anything. It was just like,
it wasn't like
I tend to
Leon
watch
movies.
like animes or anime or movies like when I'm trying to go to sleep.
Yeah.
So I basically like, oh yeah, let me
I
watch this.
I kind of feel like Claire's movies just wasn't as good as the Leon movies in general. Like, I kind of wish that they was done a little bit better. Every Resident Evil movie launch, I die a little more inside. Yeah. The way you feel about her is how I feel about J Law in the new X-Men films.
Okay, I'm really tired of them, like making I was gonna say Magneto, Mystique like a hero. She's not.
She's kind of like, I think it's kind of like an anti-hero, I guess you could say. You don't have to kill those guys. You might as well just run around them so you don't end up getting poisoned. But they ruined the Resident Evil.
Bro, what the fuck is going on with this game?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't think they ruined it with 6. You want to know why? And I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, 6 did everything that 4 and 5 did better. First off, mechanic-wise. Secondly, Resident Evil 6 is really no more than just Resident Evil history in terms of like the game itself. Because, like, look at it. Look at Leon's campaign. What is Leon's campaign basically? It's Resident Evil 2, then Resident Evil 4, and then Resident Evil 6. Okay. What about Corsus? Resident Evil 5. What about Jace? Resident Evil 3. It's literally just a compilation of like every single important part. You clearly forgot to turn on the breaker. Every single important part of Resident Evil's history. Revelations was told disappointing? Yes and no, and my yes for it is probably different from yours. Like, my yes for Resident Evil Revelations being disappointing is probably completely different from yours. And my reasoning for it is because of the fact that how they marketed Resident Evil Revelations to be like this huge turning point of like Resident Evil, where Chris is like on the bad side of things. I don't know why I'm about to say bad side of things, but he's clearly on the bad side of things, with him like pointing his gun at Jill, and he's like, yeah, but what are you gonna do about it, Jill? And she's like, I'm gonna stop you, Chris. And that's how they marketed Resident Evil Revelations, to be like this big old plot twist after they got rid of like fucking Wesker, and then Chris is now the bad guy, which is like something I was super excited for. Because
in Resident Evil 6, the game, where the fuck was Jill at?
She was still being tested. So she was in the the BSAA facility, being tested for the Ouroboros virus and shit like that. It's in the other room. So that's my reasoning for it, because it was marketed as something that it turned out not to be, and it made me super disappointed in that game, in that area only. You need to start aiming at their head so you can save ammo. And by aiming at the head, I mean up in the general direction that they're in.
I turned the analog stick to the right.
Yeah, I saw that. So, like, that was my reasoning for it being disappointing. Everything else about the game I liked, though. Everything else about Revelations I did like. Same for Revelations 2. I actually really like the Revelations series, which is, I mean, let's be honest here. Like, it's not a lot of Resident Evil games that I don't like. First off, with Resident Evil 4 probably being like the only one that I really dislike. And even then, honestly, I don't really dislike 4.
What the fuck is that?
I dislike. That should take you back to the kitchen. No, don't even waste your time. Don't even waste your time. Go back to the kitchen. So yeah. 4 is like probably the only one that I'm not a huge fan of. I mean, not to the kitchen, back to the hallway. Yeah, go back to where the water is at, the waterfall.
What waterfall?
Where the waterfall was at, where you gotta put the battery in order to activate the elevator.
Oh.
And then you also need the crank, crank, and then you get to go downstairs to where you actually get to meet Lisa. But
what the fuck you thought a waterfall for?
a lot of people hate 6 for some reason. I'm just like, dude, have you actually played 6? Like, that's like always my first question when I hear about people not liking Resident Evil 6. Is like, did you play 6 or did you just watch someone else play 6 and kind of form your own opinion?
I like 6 because it basically introduced you to some new characters that actually are likable.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the fact some of them fucking died.
I didn't think I never would have thought that Sherry was gonna become such a likable character to me until Resident Evil 6, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's actually really cool as a character. And then
should I put this fucking shotgun up?
I mean, I wouldn't advise it. And get the crank. So like, 6 is the opposite of Final Fantasy 7 hype. Everyone hates 6 just because someone else hates it. Everyone loves Final Fantasy 7 because others love it. Alright, that makes sense. Also, yeah, Final Fantasy 12 is getting an HD remastering for PS4, and I'm super happy. Hey, now if only we can get fucking Final Fantasy 6, then I can be happy for real. Square. Fuck your Final Fantasy 7, make Final Fantasy 6 happen. Make it happen, Captain. Anyways, but yeah, Pierce was like super likable, and then it just kind of like killed him off. But like, the way he goes out is just, I'm okay with. Like, I'm okay with how Pierce died because he went out like a real man. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't succumb to like the virus. You know, he sacrificed himself to save Chris, and 6 was just such a good game.
Chris has been a jackass during the whole game.
Chris is such a total asshole in that game, and he's so hell-bent on revenge on everything that is biological weapons. Like, he has this huge revenge mentality against everything that Umbrella has done and everything that is remaining of Umbrella's traces. Like, he has such like this huge fucking revenge mindset of it all, that he's like losing himself into it, and I want to see Chris lose himself in it. I want to see Chris lose himself in it. I want to see Chris become the villain of Resident Evil, and it's not because I don't like Chris, but I like the development that's happening with Chris in these games. Might just be me, but Wesker Final Form was kind of. I kind of wish they did a little bit better. I kind of feel that they just kept Wesker alive for Resident Evil 7. And I kind of feel like that way because of Resident Evil 5, how it was marketed. Again, it's just a marketing thing. Because Resident Evil 5 was really supposed to be about Chris and Wesker and their finale. And then Sheva just came in like last minute. And it kind of ruined it all for me. I kind of feel like the finale between Chris and Wesker wasn't nearly as good as it could have been if Sheva wasn't there at all. Like, it would have been so much better if it was Chris and then Jill came in to help. Because, like, Wesker is really the final boss of those two characters. Like, he's their final boss. So, like, you having Chris and Jill together would make so much more sense than fucking Chris and Sheva, who didn't even want to be there at some point. She was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm out of here. You guys fucked up my village. I'm leaving. I'm gone. See you guys later. And then Chris is just like, you're a bitch. You're not going anywhere. You gotta finish this. And then she's like, all right, you're right, Chris. I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna finish it. And it's like,
Behind the scenes, she was yelling, choke her harder.
It just didn't
I'm sorry,
make
guys. I'm so
any
fucking sorry.
sense. It didn't make
You gotta
any
key
sense.
straight or come towards the camera.
Straight. No. Like straight, as in the way that you was going straight. Resident Evil 5 isn't even Resident Evil? Are you sure about that? It's action game with zombies? That's kind of like what 4 was. That's exactly what 4 was. The only difference is that 4 didn't have as good of a good mechanics to fit the more action-oriented side of Resident Evil like 5 did. And Resident Evil 4 was still at nice. That's really the only differences to me. But I guess because me not liking 4 in the first place lets me kind of see that it isn't like how everyone praised it to be, how everyone feels like it's the best Resident Evil, how it does everything in Resident Evil right, and how it's like the best game ever made. It's just like, nah.
For which one?
Resident Evil 4. It's like, nah, I kind of feel like this. Remake and Resident Evil 2 are the best games ever made in the franchise as a whole. Then when we start talking about the newer generation, which starts with Resident Evil 4 to 6, Resident Evil 4 to Revelations 2, then I'll be like, Resident Evil 4 isn't really that strong of a title to me, because yeah, while sure it has the quote-unquote atmosphere that you guys keep talking about, which I completely fucking missed in that game because of all the other shit that was just there in the game, you know, making it more action. I didn't feel like it was a Resident Evil title. It's just like how people feel like Resident Evil 5 isn't a Resident Evil title. But it's like at the same time, it's Resident Evil. It does what Resident Evil has always been doing. Take that very back. And Resident Evil always had that aspect to it. Like, no matter how much we want to deny the fact that Resident Evil had action in it, it was there. It was always there. And we just completely ignored it because we loved how much survival horror... Like, we loved how good survival horror was back then because of Resident Evil. Like, because of Resident Evil, games like Silent Hill happened. So it's like, how could you not want to keep that? Like, how could you not want to keep that there as a fan? And it's like, no matter what you done, no matter what you could have done to change that back, Resident Evil was going to get more action-oriented with each new title after Code Veronica. Like, there was shit you can do about it because of the story. Like, the story is literally just gonna lean towards that, and there's nothing you can do to change that. The only thing that you can do is hope that they just get a new cast of characters. You going the right way?
Oh,
I don't know why we go back. Anyways, that's the only thing that you can really hope for as a fan of Resident Evil, is that they bring in a new set of characters, because like it doesn't make any sense for us to have these battle-hardened characters like Jill, Chris, Sheva, Jake, Ada Wong, Leon being scared again. Like, it wouldn't make any sense. You'll have to like drastically change the events of like Resident Evil in itself. So like, the best thing that could happen is that they just get new characters.
Mora
is not even scared anymore because of Resident Evil Revelations. Remember, her bracelet turned red.
Oh,
yeah, so they're gonna have to like bring in just newer characters. Like Barry isn't gonna be scared of anything anymore. Mora isn't gonna be scared of anything anymore because of Revelations 2, which is kind of like, that's the epitome of fucking fear, because they had bracelets that gauge their fear levels. So it's like, and then once you turn red, that's it, you die. And yeah, they can make it less action easily, but it's like, how much sense would it make? That's how I feel about it. It's like, how much sense would it make?
Enrico.
I kind of feel like it would be best there to like bring new characters in, more so than keeping the same cast and trying to like instill fear back into them, because I kind of feel like it doesn't work. Doom should be shooter, not freaking survival horror. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened with Doom. Like, I don't know why they tried to change Doom into like a more horror game, and it's just like, nah, that's stick to it. No, you can just run past him. That was a good reaction, but you can just run past him.
I knew he was coming.
But I kind of feel like Resident Evil is best as a game that has all those aspects in it. That has the survival horror, that has the action. No, wait till you get to the cylinder. You know, I feel like that's when we would start getting like perfect Resident Evil. I kind of feel, because like the action is there in the story. Like the action is gonna be there in the story. The survival horror is gonna be there in the story. It's like there isn't much that you can do to try to change those aspects of Resident Evil, and that's what Resident Evil is. Like at the end of the day, that's literally what Resident Evil is. It's a survival action horror game, and that's what it's always been. It's just that in Resident Evil 1, survival horror was more, oh, you are so fucking boned. You're dead. You're hella dead. You're hella dead. You're hella dead. Please. Because if you didn't do that, that's what was coming. It was coming. So, like, I kind of feel, while as an old fan, I don't really like how Resident Evil changed. I understand why it changed, and I appreciate it a little bit more as to why it changed. Because like when it actually happens, when a survival Resident Evil happens, then it's gonna be like so much more appreciative for me as a player, because of the fact that I've grown to love and appreciate Resident Evil what it is now to what it's going back to. And that's kind of like, that's honestly kind of why I put like so many hours into this game. Like I put in like over 70 hours into this game, just playing it, because like I was so appreciative of the fact that we got like a Resident Evil that was survival horror, and it was like super fun. But at the same time, like I always said, like action has always been there in Resident Evil. Like you're never going to escape it. It's never going away, and it was never fully survival horror. And like playing those games and then coming back and playing these games kind of helps me to realize that fact. It's just like, yeah, while you can put the other crank up. Yeah, while you know back then it was just like survival horror. Like that was the only aspect that you actually acknowledged at the time, because it's just how it was there, you know. But now with Resident Evil, and then going back to like Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, and Code Veronica, it's like the action has always been there for me now. And it's just a matter of like actually acknowledging it being there and completely ignoring it being there. Because of the fact that you can fight back. And the way that you fight back is like more survival. I mean, it's more survival action. You can pick that up, by the way.
It's the broken one, right?
Nope.
Oh yeah, I forgot I could use it. Yeah.
It only locks that door. So I don't know. It's like, well, I kind of want the more survival aspects of Resident Evil to be back at its forefront. It's like I kind of would like it more if they found the perfect balance between everything, because I kind of feel like that's what they've been missing this entire time. It's like Resident Evil 4 and probably Revelations was like the closest thing that they got to like that perfect balance of survival horror and action, in my personal opinion. Like some people may feel differently. Some people may be like, yeah, it's only Resident Evil 4. Revelations was really bad, but it's like, yeah, Revelations still had the horror atmosphere though. Like it was all still there. So I kind of feel like that's one of the things that would need to happen with Resident Evil, is that they just find that perfect balance between survival horror and action horror. Because like I said, like Resident Evil 6 could have been that game, but you know, it wasn't. And that's mainly because it was just all of the games in general, you're not gonna hit them. You're never gonna hit them. You're never gonna hit them. You're better off getting the whip.
What?
You're better off getting the whips and moving on.
I hit that motherfucker.
Even that game, Until the Dawn, has more Resident Evil spirit than Resident Evil 5.
Damn.
Eh. 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 Eh.
Oh shit, another one.
Eh. Until Dawn was such a... I don't even know how to like word that game because it was Until Dawn even a game? Let's just start there. Was it a game? Was it even a game? It won't let you open the door?
No.
No, was it? You can just like click that and shit unless you said it.
No, I thought it was gonna like let me do it by my damn self.
Nah. So it's like, was it really a game? Like that it was more like an interactive movie to me. Like Until Dawn was like a movie, but you can actually like control the events of the movie. So it's like it's not special, but it's not like it's not a game. I kind of feel. And what was the worst Resident Evil? Resident Evil Survivor, Resident Evil Gaiden. It's really it that I can think of. Like all the number of Resident Evils and the Revelation series, I kind of feel are like really good. Well, technically, Code Veronica is 3, and 3 is kind of like a spin-off. But you know, Capcom had a contract with Sony to give them 3 Resident Evil games, and so on and so forth. So yeah, because of that contract, technically, Code Veronica is a spin-off, even though it's the correct follow-up from Resident Evil 2 compared to you know, Resident Evil 3. So yeah, in my opinion, like I said, I don't think any of the numbered ones are really bad. I mean, yeah, there are some that I don't fully like Resident Evil 4, but I don't think it's fully a bad game. It's like, it's one of those games that could have been so much better with the exclusion of a character. Like, get rid of one character, and I will be able to like the game fully, type of deal. Or get rid of one character and like change how the game works a little bit more, and I'm like, I'm totally down for Resident Evil 4. This ain't Regulator. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, what's up, Visual? How's it going? So, yeah. Earlier you had a Nemesis that would rape you, not caring about your guns, and now I think you pushed that over way too far. You pushed that over way too far. Wait, yeah, you might have pushed that way too far. Go ahead and push it down there and see what happens. You can't push it over to the side. Yeah, you fucked up. You might have to reset the room. Matter of fact, you will have to just reset that. And now in like RE5, it's just meh. Take this rocket with, this rocket launcher with infinite rockets and have fun shooting zombies.
You said that like that's a fucking bad thing.
But isn't that every single Resident Evil once you beat them?
Yeah, because I'm using the fucking rocket launcher right now.
So, I mean, like, what are you gonna do about it? Like, that's literally every single Resident Evil in Resident Evil history. As soon as you like beat the game, you get like all these infinite ass ammo guns, and you just kind of like, you go in, you have fun. It's a shooting gallery. It's like, that's kind of the reason why they reward you with infinite ammo handguns and rocket launchers and, you know, a submachine gun, because now it's your time to have fun after going through the game, and that's kind of like when you get the infinite stuff anyways in Resident Evil, in any of the Resident Evil games actually. So it's like you beat the game and then you get all the infinite shit and then you can have fun with the game, or you beat the game and you can go into mercenaries mode, which was added in like what, Resident Evil 3, and I don't think it was there for Code Veronica. I'm pretty sure it wasn't there for Code Veronica, but it came back in 4, 5, and 6. And those game modes are like super fun. They're hella fun. But again, it's just like they always had that reward system of, hey, you beat the game in this amount of time limit. Boom, here you go. Infinite rocket launcher. Or boom, here you go. Special gun that you never run out of ammo with. And it's just kind of like, go have fun. It's time for you to have fun, kiddo. Operation Raccoon City was not bad, but when I tried to play it, I was just like, what? People need 10 bullets in their head to die? Yeah. I don't think Raccoon
Just play with
City...
friends.
I don't think Raccoon City is inherently bad. But, like, the reason why it's bad is mainly because of the fact that Capcom didn't make it. More so than it's just a bad game. Because if Capcom made it, it would have been Outbreak File 3. We all know this shit. If Capcom had made Raccoon City, it wouldn't have been Raccoon City. It would have been Resident Evil Outbreak File 3. Let's be honest here. That is a game that Capcom owes us for such a long time. And I'm using the word owe now because we've been asking for it forever now. For fucking ever now. So yeah, Capcom, you owe us a Resident Evil Outbreak File 3. You need to make it happen. You need to stop being a pussy about it. Just let it happen. Let it happen. No more shall you guys run away from what we ask, what we desire. You will stand tall and face us, like we have faced you for so long. But like, it's a fun game. Even oddly without having people to play it with, I still had fun with Operation Raccoon City, which is weird because I don't know why. Actually, the cylinder. I actually don't know why I liked it so much. So, that's interesting, actually. That's actually super interesting. Because the more I think about it, it's like the more I can't really find a reason to dislike Raccoon City. Like, I kind of get why other people don't like it. It's because people are such hardcore fans of like Resident Evil 1 through Code Veronica. It's 4, 3, 2, 1. It's 4, 3, 2, 1. Just put it back into the hole. Push the buttons. Kind of like playing with nipples.
Supposed to caress the nipples.
Sherry wasn't in Resident Evil 4.
What, 3?
3 and 1. 75. So I don't know. I kind of feel like Outbreak is kind of like my influence for liking Raccoon City, because it's kind of like the same thing, except for it isn't as it isn't mainly a shooter with Outbreak. Like Outbreak was like classic Resident Evil but online, and that was like super crazy fun sick shit. But you know, back then the internet was ass. Let's be real here. Dial-up internet, not fun. Not fun. Hella not fun. Never ever shall we do that again, ever. But despite all